The man is uncomfortable with approaching you and getting turned down, then how are you in your business? You get turned down all the time in your career. That's like a normal thing you have to get over. I've been turned down a million times.
Ew, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you kind of, like, as a man in your career, you get used to being rejected. So, like, you should be used to it with women. And what, are you going to stop trying now? Because then you're not going to be successful in your career. So if you think about it like that, like, you should be comfortable with it's okay, because you know a lot of if you make no shots, you're going to get nowhere, and some of the shots are going to turn into success.
I swear these women only sound intelligent to other women, because this is an absolutely terrible analogy. First off, in business, your close rate is much higher than the close rate that men or the average man has with the woman. Secondly, when you're in business and getting turned down, it doesn't also come with a cup of humiliation, with a cup of social media blasting, with a cup of, oh, you're being a creep, without accusations of accusations. None of these things come with businesses and being turned down in business. And then the other thing is, what's different in business is that this is a very small percentage of men that we're talking about that approach women, even in its heyday. The vast majority of men have never been the ones who approach women. That has never been a thing. And secondly, men don't necessarily need women's help on how to approach. We don't need a pep talk. Most men are not approaching not because they're fearful. Most men are approaching because they checked out. They're saying no more of this cat and mouse game with these delusional women. That is what's really happened with men not approaching women. It's very small percentage of men who aren't approaching because of fear.
Guys, does anyone else have a husband or boyfriend?
Center Delta 9252, home short 1011, ready for departure.
With your flight level 370? 1312 Miami Center, squawk 600.
Mocking your husband for a hobby that they enjoy behind closed doors is rude. Posting it online so that others can mock him and make him the butt of the joke is the opposite of love, and it's actually very disrespectful. It should never have a place in your relationship. Your husband should have different hobbies that you don't understand because you're two different people, but you should support him in it because you like seeing him happy. If that's not the case, then you got way bigger problems, and I feel bad for your man. He definitely deserves better.
Hey, hold your ear, call the police. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold her, get the police. Grab her.
I felt called to make this video. This lifestyle is a life of pain. To anyone out here watching this video, for the men and the women, obviously, it's not okay. It doesn't matter what gender you guys are. This is not okay. Doesn't matter what gender we are. Doesn't matter the situation. This is never going to be okay. Partying, sleeping around with men, sleeping around with women will never ever bring you peace. This is a lifestyle of destruction. It is where Satan wants you to be. If you're out here and you're clubbing every weekend and partying and just getting messed up all the time, you will never find peace. A lot of people go back to that lifestyle because they think in that 10-hour span, 5-hour span, they're having the most fun of their life. The next day they wake up, they feel like crap. The next week they feel like crap. Jesus is the only level of peace you will ever feel on this earth that is worth feeling, man. He's the only consistent peace we have. And knowing that God gave us the blueprint on how to live a happy and peaceful life. And at the end of the day, stay away from partying, stay away from all the clubbing, stay away from the porn, stay away from all these bad things. They're bad for you, man. They're bad for your brain. They're bad for your mental. Focus on God and focus on what God has for you.
Why isn't he gonna f me? Why doesn't he want to f me? Now I want to f him. All the guys, if I want to f them, are the guys who are not actively trying to f me.
Women are this simple. That last sentence you just said, forget every little bit of dating advice I've ever told you. Just rewind that last 5-second rant she went on.
We don't gotta wait to be cheated on to be heartbroken. I'm heartbroken the moment you was talking about me in a certain way to your friend to diminish my character. I'm heartbroken the moment you paint me out to the kids to be a certain way because you mad. I'm heartbroken the moment that you show me you don't got to the kids to be a certain way because you mad. I'm heartbroken the moment that you show me you don't got my back because I could be trying to do something and you ain't even being supportive in a certain way. Like, the heartbreak for a man start based on a lack of loyalty and a lack of respect. So if a woman is disrespecting us and we want to remove ourselves, that's when we checking out of it, because it's like, I'm not about to go back and forth and disrespect you. We thrive off respect and loyalty. So it's like, when we see our women do things that appear to be disloyal, they don't understand loyalty the way we understand loyalty. They are loyal to how they feel in a moment. And their loyalty in most cases is to the end result that best serves them. Whereas though we make sacrifices as men, when you're a good dude, genuine dude, that don't always often benefit us the most.
Modern women are out here saying a whole bunch of stupidness and making the dating scene just horrendous, completely horrendous. Modern women don't truly understand that the things that they do and the things that they say, nobody would want to be around them. They wouldn't. I mean, can you imagine being around somebody that you can't even say nothing to 70% of the time? Like, they can say anything and everything to you. They can talk about, yo, you ain't dressed right. I don't like the decor in the house. You didn't do the dishes right. You didn't cook this chicken right. Oh, I like my steak a little bit on the medium side, and this looks like it's a little bit under medium. Like, you know, I'm saying I'm looking for a temp of about 135, and this looks like 132. It just really minute details that they major on. They major on the minor stuff. And by the time you as a man come through and say, hey, you know, I know you've been talking about a couple of things, but I have some stuff that I would like to talk about that I've been holding in, and, you know, I've been waiting for you to handle all your stuff, but, you know, maybe it's time for me to talk about my stuff. No, it's not about you. I'm going to be the victim. I'm going to be the victim. I'm going to change it to where you're still the problem.
You neglected these nice guys for so long, but how is it fair for you to now say, okay, I like the gentleman?
But here, you're missing a key part to what I said, to that it comes with age. The nice guys when I was younger couldn't really do anything for me. They could be nice, but they couldn't, even like the mean guys, they probably couldn't do nothing for me either. But that's just what I was attracted to when I was younger. Now that I'm at an age where I'm transitioning to a point where it's like, I don't want that. And especially I'm at an age where guys can do a little bit more. I don't want a guy that's gonna be mean to me, treat me like he can talk to me any kind of way. Matter of fact, call me the B word, because like men like to do that these days. I don't know what that's about. Call me the B word, call me everything but a child of God.
And if you got over 10 bodies, your cat is a cat only have 9 lives.
So ladies, you might not like what I'm about to say right now, but I need for you to listen. Ladies, a lot of you are having problems keeping a man, and let me tell you, it has nothing to do with your looks. It has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has nothing to do with your body, but it has everything to do with your mouth. See, a lot of us have this issue. It's called word vomit. You know, word vomit is you blurt out whatever comes into your mind instead of thinking about it, processing it, and communicating it in an effective way. No, instead you just decide to attack. You hit below the belt. You say hurt deep personal things that you know is going to hurt him because that's your intent. You hit below the belt expecting the relationship to stay above water after you guys have apologized and made up. But understand this, ladies, a man may forgive you, but he will never unhear you. Also understand that life is in the power of the tongue. So you have the ability to speak life into your relationship or speak into your relationship, ladies. It's up to you.
Being single for too long is dangerous, because how do I go from staying in the crib for 2 days straight, not saying a word to nobody, to explaining why I took a 4-hour nap where I was for 4 hours? Like, I can't do it.
Bruh, I'm telling you, it's not even, I'll have no problem sharing my locations in relationship or anything. telling people what I'm doing, I don't have no problem. It's doing stuff I don't want to do. I'm talking about y'all be working 60 hours a week. And on that one day I got off, I got to go to the beach and then go to Sephora and then go to the food festival. And then I got to go downtown. And then I got to go kayaking. And then I got to go to Paint Sip. I don't want to go to Paint Sip. I don't want to do this stuff, man. They don't even appreciate it.
You know, sometimes I feel bad for men. Only because, like, there's two scenarios I could think of that men often find themselves in, and I'd be like, dang, that's messed up. Scenario number one, a woman will do something shysty or disloyal to a man or whatever, hurt his feelings and his pride, and he won't say much about it, but he will react by pulling his affection back and being less vulnerable, opening up and giving her certain communication. She'll want her affection and attention, and she won't really get it like that, so she'll take that as he's being neglected. She'll go back to her friends and her family and talk crap about that man like he's not giving me what I want. Her friends and family will tell her that she deserves better, she should leave, or she should cheat. Now he's a bad guy and he got his feelings hurt and he's not going to get the apology that he deserves. He's not even going to get his feelings acknowledged, and he either ends up single or cheated on, and nobody cares about what he went through. Either way, no matter what he does, he's the bad guy even though she hurt him. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two, a man will find himself arguing with a woman over the insecurities and the poor thoughts that she has over herself. And it'll often sound like, you think this of me, or you probably think that of me, or no, you said this because of this, or you said that because of that. And they will argue with a woman over her projective thoughts that she thinks about herself, that she's afraid that he thinks about her. And you're arguing with somebody over something you didn't say, but what they said and put off on him. And all I can think is, no matter what you do, it's your fault and you the bad guy.
You know, modern women, if they don't start playing their cards right, they're never going to live this down. This bad behavior, this incessantly acting stupid for no apparent reason, and kikiing and ha, it's so funny, you're never going to live this down. You don't want to be acting like this when you get about 35, 40 years old. You don't really want to be acting like this when you get 30. Honestly, when you're approaching 27, 28, you don't want to be acting like this. Please, you're approaching your prime. Stop doing that. You know, like in the NBA and the NFL, well, it's stretching out a little bit more because of science and all these things. So that's fantastic. But, you know, back in the day, you know, you're probably in your prime when you 26, 27 years old, 28 years old, you're in your prime in these professional sports. And then once you get 30, they're saying it's going downhill and stuff like that, right? Modern women are reaching their peak and wasting their time. They're acting stupid in their peak. It'd be the equivalent of Antonio Brown out there just acting a fool when, well, you know, Antonio Brown might have some other stuff that's going on with him. So to be fair, but in general, modern women, they reach their peak, and instead of going off in another 3 or 4 seasons and breaking records, securing their spot in the Hall of Fame, they start acting stupid. And men are like, oh no, we don't want you on our team. So you don't have the opportunities to rack up the points or rack up the yardage anymore because nobody wants you. So you effectively can't play in the pros anymore because you were acting stupid and you have a bad attitude. There's been plenty of players that have been passed on, projected high, but because of their attitude, because they were considered a cancer in the locker room, they were passed on. There's even been pros that have come back later on and said, you know, I wish I wouldn't have done some of the things that I did. I wish I wouldn't have said some of the things that I said. I regret that. I know now. Exactly. That's what modern women are going to start doing.
I personally think that one of the most foolish things that a woman can do with her husband is withhold. It like is not really. I don't think that's a tool. I think that's a disaster, and I think you're asking for trouble. I think that we as people have learned that risk and reward, or consequence and reward, have become the way of training someone, right? So if you act a certain way, you'll get. If you don't act a certain way, you won't get. I think that is a disaster waiting to happen, because if he's not having sex with you, he's having somewhere. There's only but so long that a man can hold out.
I know men who lived in sexless marriages and
couldn't be me.
But it goes back to the scenario. How can you give your husband if you haven't felt emotionally connected with him for a long time? That's 6 months is a long time.
I feel like how did I get to 6 months not feeling emotionally connected? Even in the 6 months we've been married, I've experienced some of the most challenging times I've had as an adult. We just lost my grandfather. I'm freaking trying to do the skits and plan a wedding. I have no capacity, right? This is what it is. You only have but 100%. So maybe instead of me being the person that's cleaning the house and doing the laundry and running the businesses and taking care of you, can we get a cleaner? Because now that opens up a little bit more space for me to have with my husband. There's so many, you only have but 100%. And I don't feel like releasing that aspect of your relationship. It's important to keep the closeness, especially when times are hard, I think.
I agree.
Sucked over 100, had a baby with an NBA player, and then became Muslim. Not even Allah could save this. Max Prestige had every rapper you can name and snitches on all of them on every podcast. Messi wrote a whole book about her journey sucking from Lil Wayne to Shaq. Best-selling author. Her husband's backcourt partner's son, then Future, and another NBA player that's her son's age. NBA League Pass. Inventor of the walk, who spans a wide variety of, including Kanye West to NBA players like James Harden. Well-rounded. Sucked Gilbert Arenas' in the backseat of a car, and then had a baby with a DL NBA player who paints his nails and missionary fucks his mans. All league NBA.
So you want to misuse Sam, but you don't want to give up the pussy. Man, get your goofy ass out here. Ain't nobody going for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like y'all be wanting all this stuff done for y'all, but y'all want to give up the pussy. No, you gonna give up something valuable. You gonna give up some value, because I'm not spending my hard-earned money on your. You ain't giving up. I'm sorry to tell you. Yeah. What you talking about? You heard it here first. Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the love is real, you're not gonna talk to people outside from your partner. If the love's real, you're not going to hold friendships with people who disrespect your relationship. And if it's real love, you're not gonna create that space that your partner's gonna feel any type of disrespect in. Am I lying or am I flying?
Imagine being 30 and up and saying things like, I'm not gonna change. They need to take me for who I am. If they can't take me for who I am, then they can just leave. I don't care who you are. Friend, boyfriend, family member. To the left I go. Because what do you mean? The person I am today is not gonna be who I am 6 months from now. I'm constantly trying to level up, trying to be my best self. I'm always looking for room for improvement. So I can't relate. Some of you guys are delusional and not.
Modern women have this thing to where they think that men are going to keep on going on with this foolishness that they got going on. A lot of times modern women are talking reckless. They're talking silly. And they want a man to just let it happen. He's not going to do that. You know, honestly, you have a lot of guys out there, some guys out there that will go with the flow. That's naturally who they are. I mean, you can try to, say, oh man, you shouldn't be doing that. You should stand up for yourself. But that's just naturally who they are. She want to go to the store? I ain't doing nothing. I'll go. Oh, you want to go to the beach? Nah, the beach is not really my thing, but I ain't really doing anything. Yeah, sure, fine. He just really honestly and truly goes with the flow. Just wherever you guys are going, I'm there. You ain't got anywhere you want to go? Not really. I mean, where do you want to go eat? I mean, I'm cool wherever you guys want to go. They're genuinely and truly like that. But at some point in time, even those types of men get tired of the disrespect. And that's what modern women are looking for. Get this, modern women are looking for that type of man in a rich man, in a driven man, in a high value man, as they call it. A high value, a man with money, a man that's very disciplined, a man that gets up early, works a long time, 12, 15 hours a day. They're looking for him to go with the flow and be on their time schedule. Oh, okay. Delusional.
Maria, I can't continue to pursue you because you do OF. I said, okay, I understand. He goes, I just think you're going to cheat on me. I said, well, that's why. So it's not the OnlyFans. It's just the fact that you think you have this idea that OF girls are cheaters. You know, and that we're hoes. I understand, but I promise you, it actually makes my standards higher for who gets to sleep with me, who gets to be around me, and who I speak to, what kind of man I speak to. Okay, and let me tell you, it's very limited options out there for me. Very limited, and you're a good one. So I'm hanging on to you, baby. You're all right, I never want to get off. Come here. But anyways, he couldn't handle it. Totally valid. Not mad at him. Wish him all the best of luck. It's cool.
Controversial take of the day. If you are a straight man and you are single and you are in my Pilates class, I'm judging you. That's just how I feel. I feel like the Pilates classes are for the girls and the gays. And if you are a straight man, the only reason you should be there is if you're with your girlfriend. Like, I feel safe if a girly pop brings their boyfriend. I bring my boyfriend from time to time. But if you are there by yourself and you are a straight man, I'm judging you.
So the idea that Pilates is only for women is horseshit. The idea that yoga is just for women is garbage. And the idea that women can say these things so openly and then know full well that if a guy ever said anything like that to them, they would crawl under a rock, cry, hide, and then scream is so funny to me.
If you're not trying to say I love you in 2 weeks, go on vacation in 4, get married in about 2 months, then why are you in my DM? Why are you here? Cause, yeah.
Come on, shorty. You know exactly what in your DMs. Now, saying you love somebody in 2 weeks is, I've heard that before, but getting married in 2 months that's tight crazy. You are definitely a hopeless romantic. As soon as you meet a you're attracted to, you like, yeah, that's my husband. But men, by any means, don't fall for that. They lying to you when they say that. They want you to do the most. Once you do the most, they gonna pack you up. Your time is up, my boy. I've definitely dealt with a woman like that. She was like, oh, I love you in 2 weeks and everything all good and flowers and roses and all that. The next thing you know, she crazy. I can tell shorty crazy. She pulling up to your crib, popping tires, breaking glass, doing all that. Hiding in the bushes with the binoculars, trying to see where you say you at. Location on, all the time. Air tag probably in your crack. Trust and believe, you trying to go out with the guy, she's poisoning your food, she putting laxative in there. And now you got bubble guts all day, you can't go outside and play. Can't do. Trust me, I know.
I'm sitting here sick and worried. And this man is sitting in this car. Really? 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 Seriously? Seriously?
Look, ladies, there is a reason why that man is sleeping in his car rather than going inside and relaxing after a full day of work. He most likely just finished a pretty stressful day at work, and now he's about to go into another stressful situation, which is at home. Unfortunately, you are part of that. You are stressing him out probably the minute he walks into that home, and his body knows that. That's why he's having a hard time walking through that door. So instead, he takes 10 or 15 minutes in his car alone just to help decompress. In this situation, that man, instead of going somewhere else and relaxing, he decided to play it safe and just pull into his driveway so that you weren't worried about where he was. With that, he got this reaction, which tells him the next time to maybe go somewhere else or maybe Maybe just drive a loop around a few times.
Pass me my phone.
Bro, stop, bro.
Pass me my fucking phone.
Nah.
I'm about to post on my blue page if you don't pass me my phone right now.
Bro, are you fucking serious? What are you just...
I had no idea how men do it. Men out here with OnlyFans models, strippers, you know, and wondering why they're not having peace in their life. You know, pray for them. I'm not gonna say they can't be saved. Anyone can be saved through Jesus. And it's not something you want to be doing, man. Not somebody you want to be wifing up or having children with. You know, you pray for them, but walk away and respect yourself, man, and find a woman of God. Find a woman who's gonna put God first in her life, and you're gonna know she's not gonna have a million red flags. She's gonna be human. She's gonna make mistakes. She's gonna make mistakes like everyone else does out here, man, but she's gonna be put God first in her life. And more importantly, she's gonna fear God. Someone who fears God is not gonna be doing those things. You know, and the best thing you can do, man, is walk away and respect and love yourself and just run to God. Run to Him with all your problems, your fears, your doubts, anything you're thinking about, man, run to Him with those things. He will take care of you. He will protect you. And he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Find a wife.
The reason that you don't feel loved by your husband is because you keep trying to manipulate him and control him to make him do things to you for you so that you can then love him. This is conditional love. Listen to this.
A lot of people project this in Laura's comments whenever she's saying things like this about being able to give regardless of you receiving something. Now, she obviously receives love from me, and you know, I endeavor to love her as Christ loves the church. I love her in that way, and she continues to, you know, speak about that. I don't need to speak for myself, but I don't love her that way because she does what she does for me. I do that irrespective of whether she does it or not, because the command came from God, who doesn't change. So even if she is having an off day, I still have to do it because God doesn't change, and He gave the command. Likewise with her, God gave her the command to love unconditionally, to submit to her husband in everything. So she does that because God commanded her to, not because I'm doing something good.
Trying to get your husband to do certain things and act a certain way so that you can then be free to love him, that's exhausting. That's really tiring, and it's not going to work. If you want to feel what love actually is, you're not looking for it to come towards you. You're actually looking for it to flow out of you. That's the feeling you're looking for, because there are so many women who are looking for that, and then their husband does something for them. He buys her some flowers, or he makes dinner for her, or he goes to the store for her, does little things for her, compliments her, and she still doesn't feel loved. It's not because he's not loving her, it's because she's not loving him. She's looking for the feeling, thinking a feeling will come from outwards to in, but what she's looking for is to actually pour her love out. And if she thinks that she has to wait to pour her love out, wait for him to do something or act in a certain way, she's always going to feel unloved. And if that marriage doesn't work out, she'll feel it in the next one, she'll feel it in the next one. She's that perpetual unlovable woman. But it's not because people aren't loving her, it's because she's not loving them.
Yeah, because that man don't know you. Okay, these celebrities that y'all be fighting for, they don't know you.
But look at the hypocrisy, right? They're mad at her for saying someone was corny in high school that she didn't even say, and then proceed to say things 1,000 times worse than what she said.
It's crazy.
That doesn't make sense. And you didn't even say it, and no one has ever said, hey, our bad, we went back and heard the audio.
That's what happens when y'all don't call women the losers they are. We don't call women losers enough. Their whole panel is a bunch of single hussies that's just losers. And they're gaslight. That's the problem, bruh. Number one, light-skinned chick trying to downplay, oh, well, it happened in high school. As if black women don't get on here all the time and carry childhood and high school trauma because somebody called her bubble lips back in high school. Because she got called nappy-headed in high school. Because the chose the light-skinned girl over her in high school. So stop that. That's number one. Number two, the gaslighting, as if, yeah, let's play the audio of the girl actually admitting that she actually did worse than just call the corny.
We teased him all the damn time because his name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshots. We lived in Newark. Yeah. Like that's the hood, you know what I mean? So we would make fun of him like, what you gonna do with your little stupid headshots?
So sure, if y'all want to get stuck on the fact that she did not specifically call him corny, that can be implied and insinuated by what she just said. I know y'all lack critical thinking and now niggas gotta put black and white for y'all stupid motherfuckers. She literally said we lived in Newark, implying it was the hood, implying that he was doing that was lame, that was corny, right? It was uncool. And then proceeded to on his dreams of being a actor by saying, what you gonna do with those stupid headshots? Now that he has an Oscar, she wants to make it about her again because people are bringing up, you know, the fact that she did what she did. She said what she said. Now, then so much so to she wants him to come on his show, on her show. Or so to she wants him to come on his show, on her show, or that whatever show that is, to clear the air. Why? Why? See, so you have gaslighting, you have just straight up lying, and then you have a panel of other women supporting this and not telling her the truth. Girl, you are wrong. And that's the problem.
Why do a lot of men not communicate about things that they're actually sensitive about?
First thing is, you want to be sure you're understood.
So you feel like the lady might not have the capacity to understand you?
In most cases. For example, I'm having a bad day. Mm-hmm. And then you come to me and you're like, what's wrong with you? And I say, okay, I have a bad day, but don't worry, I'll fix it. And you say, no, you don't talk to me. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay, listen. I just lost like maybe 25 million on a deal. I know. Why were you not that careful? Why were you not? You should have tried now. What really happened? And then I go, and then you go, huh? Oh, wow. Yeah. So what's going to happen to our trip for next week? You know?
Sorry, I laughed. That's crazy.
So now I have to drop what I'm going through and come back to try to fix you because you have given me two things to think about. Not the problem I have, but also that my person has to be happy. Yeah. So the reason why I held it from you in the beginning was because I needed to find a glimpse of hope in my situation. And the fact that you make me happy with the little things you do, not knowing what I'm going through, is that hope I'm trying to hold on to. But when I trust you enough to handle the issue, trust me, women, we don't speak, we sing.
From a man's POV, help a woman watching right now. She can emotionally react because as you're saying this, I'm imagining how she would go into panic or she'd go into worry. How is there going to be a generic way to say, when I come to you with a problem, I would want you to not react?
I want you to say what you're going to say and then I'm going to come back to this.
You said something, you said help a woman watching, right?
Yes.
Like what can she do?
Yes.
Good. Pause. A man finds it hard to speak to a woman because most women, which is not a bad thing, will filter whatever he's saying through the whatever frameworks of how a woman's mind works, right? And men and women, we process things differently.
Absolutely.
So just pause for your man. Women are quite reactive because you are more emotional. When I say more emotional, it doesn't mean you are weaker. Yeah, right? It just means you feel emotions more intense. Like your friend, they'll propose to your friend, you start crying. I understand.
At the time, your hormones are all over the place.
That's okay. So it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So you guys feel emotions more intense. So it's normal that if your man should tell you something that's shocking, you will want to jump. Yeah. But if you pause, then he will start to sing. 100%. Just pause. Just hold back. Just let him say, oh, this happened. You are shocked. You're like, oh. And women, you people, your brain can multi-think. But just pause. Just pause.
You're saying that if every time this happens, every lady watching out there pauses.
Try it tonight. Pause.
I haven't once heard anyone discussing toxic femininity inside the manosphere. So for those who don't know, this is a brand new mega viral documentary out on Netflix set out to analyze what it pitches as a macho, misogynist, mainstream, growing male supremacy subculture with a cult-like following. So the huge question is, why is it that despite vulgar standpoints and vociferous claims on women, young men still take such an appeal to this particular genre of content? This is the fundamental discussion point, and it's very simple. Young men, a lot of which come from broken households, are actively looking for inspiration. And there are currently two options. Option number one is to listen to those who tell them they don't need to be strong, that they are enough, that they don't need money to live a good life, and they should sit in a classroom, sit there cross-legged, silent, compliant, being forced down the throat of the same system that failed their parents and most of their peers. Or option two, listen to men who tell them to earn as much money as possible, to get every woman they want, and to build anything and everything they want, and absolutely nothing and nobody can get in their way. Those are the current two options at a general mass scale. Who do you think they're going to side with? Young boys biologically want to be outside, running, jumping, climbing, wrestling, building, creating, and they're getting none of that. So as soon as Justin Waller comes along and says, I believe that the world really took a swing in the wrong direction when it comes to it being acceptable for a man to have a masculine energy about him, to be strong, that it got called toxic, that's it. It's done. As soon as he says anything along those lines, he wins the young men over. And the other option tells them that there being a war on men being strong is an extreme belief. They don't like you as soon as you say that. That's it. As soon as that's said, the split is created. It doesn't matter how much you prove what HS says sometimes is possibly damaging, and that he's a hypocrite, and Myron says women this, women that. They don't care. That's not me saying they shouldn't care. That's me explaining the reason we are seeing what we're seeing, because it's preferred to the only other option. And then, under all of that, there's a huge question as to why there is so much bombardment on male influencers and male adults and none on women. There are just as many female influencers out there disseminating narratives to impressionable young girls that it's okay at the age of 18, 19, 20 to plaster yourself naked all over the net and earn millions from doing so. You criticize the men for promoting it, but you don't criticize the women for doing it. These female influencers are exploiting weak young men, selling damaging narratives to young women, and making the big buck off it, turning themselves into the top 1% who profit from the exploited at the bottom. I haven't once heard anyone discussing toxic femininity. These are huge unanswered questions, and people are angry generally. That's why you've got extreme podcast views, because people are sick of the one-sided attack, of the unfair treatment. So overcorrection, what we're seeing, is preferred over the continuation of what we're sick of seeing until now. If there's a trampoline on the floor and you want to jump on top of the building, you need to propel yourself above the building so that you land. If you aim for where you want to land, you hit the wall. That's what's happening. Grab yourself a copy of my new book, Everything Modern Society. Link in my bio.
So you want to know what I am starting to realize? I'm starting to realize that modern women think that they have more options than what they actually have. But let me cook for a second, right? Because I'm always cooking, right? When I say that, I'm meaning that modern women think that it's so easy to obtain a man. They think it's so easy to retain a man, right? And let me tell you, it may be easy to get a man to sleep with you. It may be easy to get a man to date you and court you. It may even be somewhat easy to get him to make you his girlfriend. But when we're talking about marriage, this is where a lot of women start to get sad and depressed, right? Because they're like, I've had all these options. I've had all these relationships. But now that I'm ready to settle down and I want to get married, now all of a sudden it seems so hard. You know why it's so hard? Because men have standards nowadays. And this is across the board, right? Men have standards nowadays, right? They're very much choosing to be alone and single. And in the black community, a lot of black men are not even having children at all, right? Like, you got to look at those stats. It's a lot of black men who are single and do not have kids, and that is a choice that they have made because of the foolishness that is going on out here in the dating market, right? So I say all that to say that what women don't realize is that dating, a man sleeping with you, and even girlfriend stage doesn't mean anything. It is the wife stage that actually matters, right? And men are wising up. They're wisening up, and they're like, why am I going to have a life full of headaches, stress, and an entitled woman that thinks that I'm supposed to take care of her and she doesn't have to give me nothing? Men are like, no, I'd rather be single. So I just say all that to say that women have to stop being delusional and realize that it's not that easy to get married. Because if it was, these women that y'all look up to that are celebrities would be married. Most of these women in the celebrity world are baby moms. If it was that simple, the marriage rates across the board for just about every race would not be declining. It's not that simple. See, men are the choosers. They're the ones who choose who they want to be a wife, and they're very much going to choose wisely. They're not just going to take anyone. they're going to pick the woman that has actually proven that she is wife material. And to be completely honest, a lot of modern women are just not wife material because of feminism, because entitlement, because the mentalities are messed up. So I say all that to say that when it comes to a man choosing a wife, it is not that simple.
Imagine telling Elon Musk, hey, I know you're a trillionaire or a billionaire. You could be a trillionaire. I know you're on pace. You have an opportunity to be that. But you need to be on my time schedule. Because I'm a high value woman. I'm in my divine femininity, and you've never had anything like that. Imagine how stupid you would sound saying that to Elon Musk. That's what you guys sound like, saying that to a millionaire. These guys that are making quite a bit of money. Even a guy making 500, grand, and I say 500 grand like it's something small. You know, it don't matter. Really, honestly and truly, you can run across a guy making 50K, to be honest, and it's still not going to matter. A man is still going to be a man on all levels. And he's going to tell you we're not doing that. We're not doing that. There are principles, there are morals, there are certain things that we just not going to do, regardless of what tax bracket we're in. And modern women, they like to run their mouth depending on what tax bracket they're in. So when they down, they're not saying too much. When they on another man's dime, they're not saying too much. But when they start to get strong and independent, and that's when they start to run their mouths. That's when they start to run their mouths. Be careful out there.